So let's talk about the elephant in the room, the notch. Apple just announced their MacBook Pros, and people have been talking online about the notch and how they hate it, how it looks ugly. Why would Apple do this? But in this video, I'm going to talk about why the notch is not that big of a deal, but why Apple still shouldn't have included it in the MacBook Pros this year. Basically, if you look at most Windows laptops, and I'm thinking about the Dell XPS line when I'm talking about Windows, because that's the one that I really think about when you compare the MacBook Pros to Windows. That's like the flagship Windows device, right? The Dell XPS line. I see those thin bezels, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, rocking my late 2016 MacBook Pro and I see a Dell XPS, I am kind of jealous of the thin bezels. Apple did thin out the bezels for this year's MacBook Pro, but they made them so thin that they couldn't include the new 1080p camera in it without adding the notch. Now, the way that Apple implemented it was so smooth because on macOS, you do have the status bar on the top, and that's usually there all the time, unlike Windows. Looking at my MacBook Pro and the way things are displayed on my screen right now, I'm using an external monitor, but my laptop is connected to it. And there is absolutely no application that I can go into right now. I'm clicking around. What's this? A video. And honestly, nothing I click onto is going to impede on the notch. When I look at Final Cut, there's no information that I need right in the middle. I got my timeline. Basically, any app you use is going to disappear. So basically, the notch is not that big of a deal. Obviously, when you're in the home screen and you have a wallpaper up, obviously you can probably see it more. If you're in certain apps or browsing the web with those really bright white screens, obviously it's going to be more noticeable. But when you're using your day-to-day apps like this, I mean, if you use dark mode as well on macOS, you're not really going to see it all that much. But I am going to say that Apple did not need to include the notch in this year's design. And the reason I say that is because I have seen other Windows laptops include a decent webcam without including the notch. Apple does these certain things from time to time when it comes to their devices, be it their AirPods only shipping them in white, having the notch stick around the iPhone for a long period of time. They have these distinct things about their products that make them noticeable. When somebody's outside using white earbuds, it doesn't matter if they're Beats, doesn't matter if they're Raycon, if they're Google Buds. If you see somebody wearing white buds, you automatically think they're AirPods, even if they're not. And that's something that Apple mastered as a marketing tactic to get people to, associate certain things with their brand. And Apple has made the notch so ingrained in their brand marketing strategy that obviously they've had people like Samsung mock them, but they even brought it to the Mac and they see people embracing it because it's an Apple thing. Now, mark my words in this video. You can screenshot this, do whatever, write it down. You're gonna see Windows laptops bring a notch. And they're gonna justify it by saying, oh, the bezels are thinner. Once Apple does something, it gives the entire industry a green light to say, okay, Apple did it, so we can do it now. They don't have the balls to do it on their own. They want Apple to do it for them and then have them have the permission because Apple did it. So in my opinion, yes, they could have shipped the laptop without the notch, but in reality, when I look at all the apps that I use on a daily basis, it's not going to impede on what I do. And because macOS has a status bar at the top, Apple did a really good job of blending the OS into the notch. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the notch. Let me know if you're going to buy the new MacBook Pros, and if so, which one are you going to get? Because I'm really curious to see which model most people are going to get. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.